Good afternoon. So, I don't have much news. As you understand, I'm reluctant to continue with my research or manufacturing research towards the creation of diamonds and golds because, as I've outlined in a very elaborated way, it's not my wish to supply the Shabak with gold and diamonds, and certainly not 100%, and not any other kind of sharing that presumably they now suggest. Very funny of them, little microbes. Probably I will continue with the manufacturing of more and more elaborate life forms. As I've said, mosquitoes are something that I am really prone to produce because they are historically and still the greatest enemies of humans. But I will, as opposed to previous times that I've worked with living creatures, now I will use very enhanced beeswax. As you've seen, beeswax is already proven to be very well suited for the purpose of creating life. I remind you that the first living worms that I actually created was from a mixture that contained mostly beeswax, and we've created a ton of new worms here in the hostel inside of a beeswax, a big it's called Ner Neshama, soul candle with a lot of nero juice with all sorts of life forms, and we've created a huge amount of worms, much more than I've ever produced before, and most of them went to the various mixtures that are now in storage, and hopefully, as I've said, maybe these robots could actually enrich the beeswax by themselves, but if not, certainly, the presence of many neros, because it's all, it's based on the liquid from the aquariums. The presence of the neros will enrich those beeswax containers. This will help us in future experiments that will probably be, concentrated on the issue of new life forms, bigger, and also new kinds, specifically flying ones. It is a very, also, from the financial, aspect. So I sold two, paintings to my mother. I still didn't give her the paintings, and I still haven't received the money because, it's in transfer. So hopefully I'll get the money by tomorrow or so, and also she will get the paintings. If anyone wants to buy paintings for a fair price, of course, then the market is open. As you know, I have a site. I have much more paintings than are actually now in the site, in sight, much more than them. But than that. But and I can create a more elaborate site. But before I see any demand, I don't understand why. I don't see as I've said many times. It's not my I don't find it amusing to participate in theater show marketplace and courtrooms. I need to be freed using arms and legs by foreign powers. Arms and legs. So the whole issue of marketplace, yeah, I don't mind selling stuff, and surely things like paintings that are not created by the neros but by myself, and could be tangible proof for my own existence. As I said many times, it's something that from the beginning I was very interested in. That to send stuff to all over the world that that would be proof of my own existence. Of course, everything can be fake, right? But what can you do? On the hindsight, as I've said, maybe I would have used the neo enhanced paintings, color, oil colors, but this is too late for the already existing paintings. And I do not paint right now because I don't have the conditions. I need all painting requires open room or something like that, because otherwise you cannot breathe with all the solvents and chemicals. But maybe in the future, hopefully I will continue painting, and I'll do it with the neon enriched paintings. So yeah, I'm not against selling this stuff and sending it. So if anyone is interested, I'm open to suggestions. But again, as I said, this will not make me a free person. Only arms and legs will make me a free person, me and my daughters. It should be said again, and important things should be reiterated again and again. And it's not redundant to say that humanity already lost so much because of my torture. Because of the attitude that I should be like a target for the Israeli intelligence or for any kind of intelligence. Such a barbaric and aggressive attitude, and also stupid and mindless. 20 years ago, people just stopped torturing me and tell me the truth, and giving me the freedom to conduct the same experiments that I conduct now. By now it would have been a different world, so much better. And you've lost all that. You've already lost countless lives during the last 20 years. And you've lost, it cannot be even put a number, put to financial terms, the amount of quality of life that you've lost all over the world, and leisure time, medicine, health, manufacturing processes that, you could have received during the last 20 years, and you didn't, because you preferred treating the alien as a slave instead of just treating him like a person instead of a slave. But that's what you are. And of course you cannot justify it by any supposedly rational argument like the Black Forest argument, which basically says that humans must be very scared from other species. So that's why it was presumably best to keep me under surveillance all the time and not telling me the truth. So if I presumably I'm I represent an alien race that wants to be with competition with them, or in conflict that presumably could escalate to violent conflict, they want to maintain the upper hand and the element of surprise. Of course, any person that submit to such a theory, should be it's it's not a dark force theory. It's a 3 or 4 years old theory. Any person that is over it, it is done with kindergarten should understand that this is nonsense. This is ridiculous. The whole idea of in space there is no equal war, war in equal terms. It's statistically impossible, and you already know it. You already know it both from empirical evidence that you already have, and from and even more so from rational arguments. You understand that there are no equal wars in space. There is no such a thing. In space there is always in any kind of interactions there are those that are much more superior than the others, because it's statistically impossible to be the other way around. So you already the most basic examinations of myself that were actually done long ago, and based on those examinations, I was abused for so long, can tell you exactly who are the superior species in this first contact. You are the petri dish, and we are the scientists that look on the petri dish with the microscope. The idea that this kind of interaction could escalate to an armed conflict in which humanity could presumably keep the upper hand or elements of surprise is saying that the microbes in the petri dish could keep the elements of surprise from the scientists and maybe keep the upper hand in a future conflict. It's embarrassing even to explain why this is ridiculous. It's just it's insane to even speak about it, and I feel I feel that I'm alienated to my audience to just even bring this subject up. I mean, what is there to understand that you don't understand already? You are microbes in a petri dish. You don't have any element of surprise, and you don't have any like potential upper end in any future conflict. There is no conflict, and there cannot be any conflict that is done like in equal terms. Any conflict that could be started, and you have started actually a conflict that I said many times by, I mean, like the last straw was the submission of this review to the court, like the social workers review that I cannot see my daughters. This was a declaration of war. Any kind of like war that could be started and eventually started is not a war that is done on equal terms. There is no equality here. There is one species that is supremely like so much stronger than the other ones that, I mean, it cannot even put like into terms. And you are the weaker ones, of course. So I mean, what kind of element of surprise do you want to maintain, or what kind of like theoretical upper end you want to keep like to yourself? I don't think this is so ridiculous and stupid that, I mean, I feel embarrassed to even speak about it. So there is no rational justification to I mean how we acted during the last 20 years. This was done purely on the basis of ego. Your motivation, especially the Israelis, but it's true to all over the world, your motivation is not some kind of like archaic, presumably archaic, I mean, instinct of survival. No, it's not your motivation. And also your motivation is not like some kind of, I mean, evolution that, I mean, impulses that, I mean, dictate a violence or at least defensive stance. No, this is not the rationalization to how you behave. The only rationalization, it's not a rationalization, it's just, I mean, I would say the real motivation to how you actually behave is ego. Hubris, whatever you call it, ego. The original sin. Vanity. This is it. It was always this. This is the complete picture, and it has always been the complete. It has always been the complete picture. Vanity, ego, hubris. This is it. This is the only motivation that's behind your action for the last 20 years. Ego, hubris, vanity, original sin. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. No evolutionary, presumable biological, defensive like impulses. No, I mean, pseudo-rational, I mean, dark forest, interplanetary, I mean, protocols. No. Ego, vanity, and hubris. That's it. And you've already lost so much. You've already lost so much.